Hi, I've been teaching science online for several years, and one of the technology tools that I find to be really effective and useful for online science teaching is screencasting. I'm using Screencast-O-Matic for this presentation, and I often go to that just because it's easy to use, it's easy for students to download and use, and there are several reasons why it's effective. One of the main reasons for using screencasting is because of how engaging it is for students. So just as an example, I'll show you a video that I recently helped one of the professors at my college make.
Since yesterday, when we had single displacement reactions, Jody did not film the hydrogen combustion sufficiently. We're going to run that again. Hopefully it'll set my hair apart. So I'm putting a little piece of aluminum wire down at the bottom of this big central black test tube, and I'm going to add the concentrated acid, and then I'm going to try to light the hydrogen on fire. So I'm just repeating yesterday's experiment. Okay, now hydrogen has got to be created. It's really getting vigorous. Awesome.
So it might have been a little bit hard to hear there, but the professor was basically explaining that he reacted aluminum with an acid and he got an explosive gas produced as a result, and he was able to light that on fire. So in addition to really having those kinds of demonstrations really be engaging for students, it also helps them connect what they're learning, single replacement reactions in chemistry, to real world events. They can actually physically see what's going on even if they're not really there. Another way of connecting and having real world applications for students is when they have their own projects and create their own demonstrations and then share those with other people. So just as an example, when I took a course in using Makey with students as a way of connecting Scratch programming to physical science projects, one of the ideas I had was to have them do a Rube Goldberg device, and they could create their device, they could record themselves using it to show that it works, and then they could actually connect that to a Scratch programming, code it so that it explained all the different types of motion and forces involved with their Rube Goldberg device. And so this is an example of one I made. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of it working, but it does give you an idea of a physical real-world example. Students can use their phone to just simply make a recording of their demonstration, and they can upload that to YouTube or any kind of website and very easily share that with their peers, and then they can comment on each other's work and learn from what they each did. So again, it goes back to that collaborative learning and giving them opportunities to use technology tools to learn from each other and to also give feedback on each other's work. And that's been shown to improve academic achievement and help with deeper learning. So here's another example of how students can use screencasting to share some online earth science tools for explaining weather and patterns.
Once they're ready to create their screencast, then they can go to the Screencast-O-Matic website and they could go to the Start Recording button, click on that, and that will enable them to use the program from the website, or they can download the program to their computer. Once they've done that, then they'll select the maps or simulations they'd like to use in their description of the mid-latitude cyclones. For example, they could use a weather map. There's some interactive or static ones, and talk about the symbols that represent the fronts, cold and warm, and the low pressure pressure areas associated with them, the movement of the fronts and the weather. They could also incorporate simulations to explain the same things, which show the actual movement of the air masses, as in this case a cold front moves in and the warm air moves up, and the precipitation that's produced. They could also use a simulation of the middle latitude cyclone to then explain how the movement of those fronts produces the rotation that you see in a mid-latitude cyclone. So a lot of possible resources that they have the ability to choose from, which I think will get them engaged and excited about the activity. I also think it will, needing to do the explanations will have them spending more time with the simulations and understanding them, which I think will produce deeper learning of the topic.
So ultimately, screencasting is beneficial in a lot of ways, and it's not just for younger learners. Actually, adult learners have also been found to benefit in terms of their academic achievement being higher, and they've demonstrated a deeper understanding of concepts when they've done either peer review screencasting, or they've done the types of projects that I've shown you here. So something I hope that you'll have a chance to try.